Okay. Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Stonks Maxxing Day. This is day 70 now, so almost, I guess, just about 2 months so far. So, going along pretty well. And in this episode, this is part 3 of our Intel series. And I think in the previous 2 episodes, we had read through some few articles online and also tried to think about Intel from a very high level model and see if we can build out this simple mental model in our minds to describe how Intel actually makes money, and maybe one step further will be to find out the underlying cost structure. Now that I actually didn't do, but I do have this Notion template out. So this should be okay. I also want to see. All right, nice. I was just looking at myself because I'm cute. But Intel, what they do in one sentence, they're a integrated device manufacturer. So this means that they both design and manufacture semiconductor chips. They design them. This is really their client compute group and their data center and AI business. And then they also manufacture them. So that's their Intel Foundry Services, their IFS business. And we had talked about this first order approximation. I don't know why it's telling me to go online. What if I refresh this? Okay, nice. This first order approximation by Austin Lyon from his Chipstrat Substack, I thought this was really interesting because this kind of lays out how Intel makes money under the hood. Pretty much, first step is designing, and then second step is manufacturing the chips. And there's really two business segments, in this case product lines, that drive a lot of the Intel's revenue, and that's their core product line in their client compute group, and then their Xeon product line and their data center and AI. And so when you look at the customer base of Intel, what you see is that you have a pretty big mix. You have some OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, some ODMs, original device manufacturers, and then also CSPs, so some cloud service providers. And these guys pretty much funnel money back into the business. Client compute group, yeah, this is the biggest segment I think that Intel has, and this is building chips, designing chips for computers, PCs, like the MacBook I'm streaming on right now, although I think Mac is making their own M1 ARM-based chips, so they're strike one for Intel. Right now, they're currently losing a lot of market share to both OEMs that are producing their own chips in-house, so in this case Apple, and then you also have competitors like AMD that are producing their own. I think AMD is also x86, but they're also eating up a lot of market share, both in the client compute group segment and also the data center and AI. Yeah, so they're being attacked from all sides. I think the last time AMD really saw dominance over Intel was maybe 2005. I remember there was a Reddit. Let me see if I could pull it up, actually. AMD. Oh, actually, maybe it's here. Ooh, okay, yeah. Athlon 64. So this is in 2004. Okay. Yeah, the target customer here, you really are the OEM. So HPs, the Dells, the Asus, anything that's really Windows-based is probably going to be using an Intel or AMD chip. And AI PCs seems like they are kind of this big trend. I don't know how sticky or how realistic this trend is going to be. It seems like a little bit more realistic than the metaverse, but I still have doubts over whether or not it's actually a good selling point. I don't know exactly what will change my mind. Because nowadays, I mean, if you could do, I think this is a point I brought up earlier, was that, okay, you could just straight up call an API over a server that'll do the exact same thing. You don't really need to do everything on device, unless maybe if you have confidential information for work, I could see that. So if you want to keep things on-prem, then that could be a use case. Yeah, that could be a use case. I'm trying to think. It's the only one I could think of for now. Maybe has some company uses for corporate prizes. Okay, and so this is essentially the main product line. It's called Core. So this is the Client Compute Group Intel Core product line. It's the Intel Core i3, i5, i7, i9. All of those are part of this Core product line. I think I said that like 5 times already. But I think what happens actually underneath this process is there's just something called binning. And essentially what Intel does is they actually make the same die. So they'll take a wafer. It's just a circular piece of silicon, and they'll print the same exact die. I guess this is like the core Intel die, which is just a mold for a specific chip design. And I think what happens is they make this silicon wafer, they make the individual dies, all of them are the same, but there is some variability and randomness to the actual manufacturing process. So even though the mold's the same, the process is the exact same, there's still some variance between the different dies on the chips. And so this is where the i3, i5, i7, i9 binning comes into play. They'll take each chip and then test them, I guess, based on either clock speeds or clock rates, determining how many flops, so I think that's the floating point operations per second, it can compute or it can process, and then that's how you get classified into the i3, i5, i7, i9. Yeah. All from the same type of wafer. Okay. So when processors are made, there actually is a decent amount. Right, this is where we're talking about. Okay, frequency capability. Yeah, I don't know exactly this. This is a bit more technical. I probably have to dig a little bit deeper. Every processors that Intel will make will go through a sorting process. So this is the binning thing above. And then this kind of leads us to a recent problem that's been going on. So with the 13th and 14th gen Intel processors, so I think these are maybe the previous generation. This is like literally the most previous generation. I think the 15th gen is probably the most advanced or up to date. Well, let me double check. Most recent Intel Core. Ooh, okay, never mind. So I guess this is the most latest gen. So it is the 14th gen. So these are the actually latest processors as of August 2024. So these are the Raptor Lake processors. NVM error, not entirely sure what this is. IO error, acceptable, it is to failing. Okay, rad gaming tools. Yeah, this does get a bit technical. I don't fully understand what's going on here. But there are some errors. I think what I saw was there's some things that happen with microcode. And I think what microcode does from a processor standpoint is it allocates memory to different registers. I could be wrong. Let me see. Microcode registers. Microcode. Okay, so let's see. from okay, so firmware. So I guess there's this idea of firmware. There's this idea of firmware. A blend between software and hardware. So microcode lies within the the CPU usually. Okay, I'm gonna add this super user. Okay, so there's the Pentium foof bug, which I think was another Intel bug that existed maybe, I think this is 2005. Let's double check. Oh, never mind. This is 1997. Pentium 4. Okay, so I guess this is when Pentium, there seems to be some commonality here. Bolos or arc Lantos winning hard with their unbeatable efficient Haswell architecture. Okay, so that I guess is yeah, it's interesting. Data center plus AI. So this is the second most profitable, not profitable, but highest revenue generating business segment, I think. And this one is designing chips used for data centers, for hosting or running applications. And then I think also, I guess this goes back to their Gaudi, Intel Gaudi product line to do a lot of training and inference. And Xeon, it seems like their biggest product line, they claimed, I think, in their Computex 2024 that they have 130 million Xeons powering data centers around the world. What are their customers? What is the breakdown of NVIDIA versus Intel versus AMD? I think that's something worth looking into. And then you also have E-cores. Yeah, I don't know exactly what that is. Performance metrics. Maybe these are things to look out for when you kind of benchmark and compare the different enterprise processors. So eBay, SAP, I guess these are all of the different, even Microsoft uses it. Cisco, okay. ZTE, I'm surprised to see that on there, I'm not gonna lie. Intel 3, so this is their 5 nodes and 4 years process strategy. %80 of data stored on-prem, padded, hyped about retrieval augmented generation. Ooh, okay. Yeah, this is, I totally forgot I read about this. But yeah, I guess coming from a, what's it called? Well, when I'm thinking about the competitive positioning about Intel Gaudi, and the main difference is that this is cheaper than what than the NVIDIA H100. It feels like Intel has little to no power here or pricing power if they always have to undercut their competitors. There isn't a technological or brand sort of, or maybe even ecosystem differentiating Intel. It's just price, which I don't know, doesn't really sit well with me. Edge deployments. Yeah, not entirely sure what this means. Do they have data centers close by? Not entirely sure. Yeah. So Intel IDM 2.0, I think this is their new business model. Is the Intel Foundry model used to be some type of cost center within, or cost leader within the business itself. They weren't keeping track of how much it was being spent on producing chips. But I think they've separated this into a separate business segment that they also report. And so now they have more clarity about whether or how this production of chips is how it's contributing to the profit and loss, I think. Okay, so maybe this was a high-level overview, right? I kind of want to dig a bit deeper granularly into the numbers. And so how I'm going to do that is probably start by looking through some of the 10Ks, 10Qs of Intel and work from there. And I want to see if I can make this. And I might, let's bring this over here. I might actually change the screen real quick. So let me, you'll just have to look at me from the side for my jawline profile. Uh-oh. Okay, let me see if I could delete this Mac OS screen capture. Let's go into the Asus. Yeah, nice. Okay, this looks good. I'm gonna expand this one out a little bit. Alright, so let's maybe think about this from, what if I just do no fill for now. Okay, so let's think about this, right? Intel, they have the client compute group, the data center and AI, and then also the Intel Foundry services. I think some other things are networking and other bets. I could be wrong. I wonder, is there a hotkey for making new row? Excel. Control Shift Plus. Control plus sign. Nope. Okay, yeah. Maybe I'll take a look later, but Intel 10K, let's see. So this is back in January of 2024, so this will be the year of 2023. Actually, let me see. So, let's also think about products, maybe. Actually, it'd be nice to, yeah, maybe we could add something here. So, oh wait, Command Shift plus. Okay, nice. Let's do core. All right. Oops. And then Xeon. Maybe even Gaudi. Okay. Forgot what is ASPs? Application service providers? Okay, let's think about the income statement. So revenue, let's call this 2023. XPU. Okay, so x86 is their sort of instruction set architecture. And I guess this is okay, I guess from kind of this philosophical brand positioning perspective, Intel does seem entrenched within the let's see, docs. Oh, I can add a chat? That's tough. Okay, docs, YouTube live control panel. Oh, hopefully this works. Okay. But, okay, Intel does have, let's call instruction set architecture. So XPU and then x86. I'll make a note here that x86 powers billions of lines of code. Has already been written. I don't know if they own it though. Is like this x86 architecture, is this something they license or right, or is it something that it's open source? Oh, that's cool. Okay, so that I actually did a bit of learning here, right? x86. It's like AMD also makes this x86 architecture. The x86 architecture. So this is essentially, I think, like the sort of assembly language that you can write, and the underlying sequence of the bits that tell what your CPU that will tell your CPU specific instructions, right? From Quora, AMD, use it for free because they developed the x86 64 instruction set architecture. So I guess this is adding more bits, so 64 bits instead of the original, I guess it was 32, could be wrong. 4-bit was x86 32-bit. Okay. First 32-bit at the time. You can transfer up to 32 bits of data per clock cycle and has 44.29 billion. Okay. Wait, is that 2 to the 32? Right. Okay, so that's cool, getting to learn a lot there. Okay, so from a revenue perspective, I guess XPU is just anything. Our strategy, cash from operating activities, so they, okay, Yeah, it seems like P6 program. Okay, so client compute group. So you have core 13th, let's go 14th gen, 13th gen. Intel Evo. So Evo. Unison. Yeah, what's Intel Evo? Okay, I guess this is some type of software layer then. This is a good time to pull out ChatGPT. What is Intel Evo? Is it software? Oh, I see. Okay, so it's just straight up a marketing gimmick. That's what it is. Okay. 11th gen core processors. Okay. I guess is Intel Iris Xe a GPU? It's built into the same chip as. Oh, it's very, very good. Okay. So is Intel Iris Xe packaged with Intel Core? Okay, so there's 12th gen, 11th gen. Well, I don't know here. Any Intel Core processors? Actually, let's see. I should probably double check. So Intel Core processors from 11th gen or newer or above have Intel Iris Xe built directly within the CPU. Okay, so Intel Iris Xe graphics. Sure. AI enhanced. Okay, so this is, yeah, this is where we could see it. Okay, so we have different generations. I think 14th gen. So I'm not entirely sure when the timeline is for these. Basically a marketing gimmick, just a stamp of approval for computers with 11th gen CPUs, core CPUs. Okay, yeah. Okay, well, until calculated volume devices are 4 years from. $200 million commercial devices are more than 4 years old, so maybe that's an opportunity for them. Okay. '23 outlook was positive for long-term PCs. Okay, let's say this. Term outlook was positive for PCs. Household PC usage remained elevated compared to pre-pandemic rates. Okay. Commercial growth opportunities. Corporation expand the size of the. Okay, so Intel estimates that 200 million commercial devices are more than 4 years old. So I wonder if you kind of graph the cycle or the revenues of these chip manufacturers. I wonder if you do get some type of peak and trough cycle of, in this case, commercial maybe drives more of the spend compared to consumers. I think these days everyone uses their phones as the main computing device, not necessarily a personal computer. So in my eyes, this could be interesting. Could be interesting. Growth opportunity. From 2023, 10K MDNA. Okay. So they're trying to expand. Okay, so they released their 14th gen Intel Core desktop processor. I guess that was in 2023. Intel Core Ultra. Intel 4 technology. So I think Intel 4 is the most recent. So our latest processor family is the first client processor to feature a dedicated neural processing unit for AI acceleration. Okay. The Core Ultra represents an inflection point. Processors we compete with. Yeah. So totally forgot about Qualcomm as well. Competitors. Right, so we have Apple, Qualcomm. So these are all ARM-based. So ARM-based, and then x86. So x86 AMD is probably the big one here. I don't think NVIDIA is too much of a threat right now in terms of CPU architectures. I don't know. Okay, yeah, what is Intel Core Ultra? What is Intel Core Ultra? Ooh, okay. So DDR5, I think this is the double data rate 5 memory. I think Micron ended up coming out with this pretty recently. Maybe it's the sort of next standard. Yeah, so shoot. I'm trying to think when I'm looking at this. So Intel is more of the logic chip processor manufacturer. Micron is the memory storage manufacturer. I think they need to be compatible, so all the CPUs rely on storage and memory. And I guess the most recent type of technology is the DDR5. I feel like DDR6 too. I remember hearing about that as well. I don't know exactly how these actual underlying technologies work though. So does Intel still have their Core i series product line? Okay, will Intel still market there? Professional workstations. So, okay, so Core, maybe it'll be interesting. Core Ultra. So I guess this is their even better than i9 chips built on new CPU architecture, I guess chip architecture that includes NPU aligned more towards AI. Okay. And then their core series, I guess, just refers to then their sort of I series chips, so like i3, i5, i9. Okay. That's I series chips. Alright. So i3, i5, i7, i9. Alright, and this is where they do the binning, I think. Notebook. Okay. Yeah, I think so. We do have their competitors. What about their customers, right? So customers. Oops. So when we think of customers, I think let's first take a look at some OEMs. Okay, so HP. I don't know anyone that has an HP laptop. I'm gonna be honest. Dell, Asus, Lenovo, maybe Samsung. I don't know Samsung. I'll add a question mark for now. I'm not 100% on that one. But those are probably the big ones right off the bat. Okay, so let's see what they have here. They have notebook, desktop, and other. I don't know what the other refers to. Okay, so actually desktop revenue is lower than notebook revenue. What is notebook? I guess laptops. Okay, let me see. All right, laptops versus desktops. This pictures do laptops, notebooks refer to laptops. I guess, I don't know. Notebook revenue. Okay, so let's maybe. This is very, very helpful. Okay. Yeah, let me maybe make this so revenue breakdown. We'll have total. So CCG client compute group. We also have, okay, so notebook, desktop, and then other. All right, and then let's do operating income. So operating income. Okay, and 2023. Let's just add this here again. Okay, revenue breakdown. So client compute group. That's 2021. 2022 and 2021. So there were that year 25.4, 18.8, and then 17. So you do see a big, I can't even talk. You do see a big decline there. It seems like a year-over-year decline. Okay, desktop 12.4, 10.7, 10.2, other 3.2. Okay, these are in billions as well. So in billions, 3.2. Okay, 2.3, 2.1. So in this case, is equal to. Oh, shoot. What if I do this? Oh, it still works. Okay. Yeah, what I want to do is add 8% growth. Okay, let me see. So I gotta take the notebook, divide this. Oh, yeah, there we go. -1. Let's also turn this into a percent. Oops. Percent. Oh shoot, no. And then let's also turn this into percent. Okay, I think if we do a CAGR, so a 2-year CAGR. Yeah, here. Okay. So let's see. I'm trying to think. How do we calculate the compound annual growth rate, right? What we want is a number that if we multiply by the notebook, we'll get to this, right? So I think what we could do is we'll take 17 divided by 25.5, and then we'll raise this to 1. So 1 divided by 2 for 2 years, and then we'll subtract 1. Yeah, so an 18% CAGR. All right, that's not great. That's not great. Oh shoot. Maybe you could do this. Okay, might have to change that later. Oh. Yeah, so we see some big structural decline in the client compute group. That is unfortunate. Let's see. Okay, so negative 15%. All right, yeah, things are not looking too hot from a revenue perspective, especially in the CCG timeline of when the Intel Core generation, different generations starting from past 5 Intel Core generations from 2024. Raptor Lake, okay. Okay, this is helpful. So Intel Core 11th Gen Tiger Lake, that's what they're called. Launch date September 2022. Okay. Then I guess the Intel Core 12th Gen Alder Lake. Intel 7 process. So is this going down or is this going up? Yeah, be very helpful. So 2024. 11th gen, so 12th gen, November 2021, November 2021, okay, November. I think this one was September 2020. So this is before, even before it seems like, well, I wonder if during this time we saw the broader market fall, or was this just an Intel problem? Yeah. Okay, September, Intel Core 13th gen, so this is the Raptor Lake, I think. Yep. Hybrid architecture. It's October 2022. Yeah. October 2022, and then Intel 14th gen. Core Ultra maybe then? So I guess Meteor Lake? Okay, Intel Meteor Lake. of Intel Core Ultra mobile processors. Multi-chip module. Okay. So, oh, TSMC makes this. Oh my god. That's interesting. Alright. I'll be back in a sec. Gonna go use the bathroom real quick. Yeah, I'll be back. Okay, there is one thing I want to see. Search. Moore's law chart. So it's an interesting thing. There was something that my professor showed us in class. This doesn't relate necessarily to what we've been talking about, but I wanted to see what this was. Because it got me thinking. Essentially, he was making the claim that Moore's law is sort of dead, and that processors weren't actually getting better exponentially, so you couldn't double the amount of transistors or maybe double the processing power. Let's see if I can find it. Lecture 1. Okay, this, I don't know exactly what the y-axis here is, I'm gonna be honest. So this is all the way up until, maybe this is a question for ChatGPT. So these are actually all cores. 4.2 gigahertz. So I guess this refers to the clock rate. Right. Clock rate. So gigahertz per second. Clock speed is the versus clock cycle. I always get confused. Okay, yeah. Let's get back to this real quick. So what is this photo trying to show? So we can just straight up copy this into it. Clock cycle. Okay, so in this case, the performance of VAX processors. Okay, so this is roughly doubled then. 50% per year. Is Moore's law dead? Okay, so what's the difference between transistor density versus raw transistor count? I guess how small of a transistor you can fit onto a wafer. Here. Okay. So is Moore's law focused on transistor count versus density today? Let's see. Oh. Hey, Justin. Yeah, what's up? My birthday is January 31st, 2002. Oh, wait. Did someone call you about renter's insurance? Because when I was setting up the electricity, there was a person that was trying to pitch me or sell me renter's insurance. Okay. Yeah, let me know how much it ends up costing. I can call back tomorrow and see what this. Oh, okay. Yeah, honestly, that's not bad. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks for setting that up. All right. I'll see you later. Peace. Oops. Shit. Okay. This is an interesting Reddit article, but I think this idea of transistor density versus transistor count is interesting. I think it's worth exploring from a sort of technological, philosophical point of view. I don't know if it's, yeah, and it seems like that's what Intel's doing, right? And also what these GPUs and ARM-based chips are doing. They're creating these sort of system on a chip, or maybe collecting multiple cores into a single chip. So maybe you're not able to shrink the transistor on a chip as much, but you could stack chips on top of each other. And I think that's essentially what high bandwidth memory is. I remember a few charts. You're essentially just sticking, I think, these dies of RAM on top of each other, and it's like a little Oreo cookie of RAM chips, and you just keep stacking the Oreos on top of each other. But there's something that, oh shoot, I forgot what it was, but there's something that allows you to quickly access the chip. Maybe it's something that you could directly stack on top of your CPU or your GPU. I don't remember the exact details, but that could be worth exploring. Okay. From, let's see, is heading, is Moore's Law dead? Transistor, number of transistors versus transistor count versus transistor density. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. But definitely from just the straight client compute group forecast, not forecast, historical analysis, man, Intel is going through it. Okay. Let me see. Operating income. Yeah, that should be interesting. Yeah, operating income surprisingly has increased. I guess overall has decreased, right? But there's about $1 billion worth of operating profit from these two years. I don't know if there was layoffs. I know they recently laid off a bunch of people. Right. Let's see. Maybe let's make an entire row. Because I want to make a row for... Okay, so you have customers, right? So these are direct customers, but really the end market here. So these could be students, I guess education, students, commercial, so I think office, and let's do personal use. Okay. Yeah, just to have that. Really, notebooks increased 2022 versus 2021. Oh, ASP's average selling price. Is ASP average selling price? Okay, this is actually very important. Let me see. So notebook. Combined with higher mix. Okay. Volume fell 5%. So this is a year over year, and customer inventory levels normalized compared to higher levels in the first half. Okay. So maybe it's worth analyzing. Maybe this would be a short-term thing, analyzing sort of the inventory cycles of HP, Dell, Lenovo, these OEMs. Oh, you know what? I think maybe Apple released their M1 chips during this period, so that's why you can see this almost $10 billion decline in revenues. ASPs fell 5% year over year. Higher mix of small core products combined with higher mix of older generation products. Higher mix of small core products and older generation products. So driven by education demand. So I guess maybe the higher tier products like the Core Ultras didn't really sell as much. Okay. So desktop volume decreased 9%, driven by lower demand across market segments. So everything, it seems like, is a volume problem. Oops. Yeah, how to add notes on Excel. Shift FC. Oh, nice. Desktop volume fell negative 9% year over year. ASPs increased 5%. Driven by commercial and gaming segments. Okay. And then other. Okay. Shift fan F2. Of legacy smartphone business and lower demand of wireless and connectivity products as a result of lower notebook volumes. Okay. Volume decreased, by, let me see, so Shift FN, F2, notebook volume fell negative 36%, driven by lower demand in the consumer and education. Demand in consumer and education segments. ASPs increased 15% from 2021. due to increased mix of commercial and consumer products. Yeah, I think I'm getting caught up here a lot. I do want to take a look at, let's see, lower period changes driven by the sell-through of previously reserved inventory. Okay, so I guess this just means that they produce less goods. They're just selling old inventory, maybe. Mix of Intel's 7 products, or product margin from desktop revenue. This. Right, SS5. Okay, so Xeon. Let's shift cells down real quick. So it seems like today we are on the 4th gen. Let's see. Oh, 5th gen. Okay, so I guess this will be the 5th gen, 4th gen, Q4 2023, maybe October, November, December, 3rd gen. Okay, this doesn't give us Mobileye. This doesn't give us a breakdown of the products though. (2021, 2022, and 2023). Okay. Let's do this. Let's add revenue, and let's add that real quick. 22.8, 19.4, 15.5% growth. Operating income, $7.4. 7.4. It's weird. What if I do that? Okay. 7.4, 1.3, and negative 0.5. Okay, so growth, let's do percent margin, percent growth. margin, percent growth. So, oops. Yeah, margins have not been great so recently. That's also a very wait a minute. Wait, yeah. I guess when you have a negative number, this doesn't really make too much sense. Let's get used to using our hotkeys. Watch out for negative operating income. Okay. Yeah, I don't really care about network and edge for now. Okay, so let's see. I think process technology. This should be Intel 3. Intel 4. Okay, so it is going down. Intel 3, Intel 4. Is there an Intel 5? I guess they just made the jump. Processor. Manufacturing. Let's see if I ask ChatGPT actually. What is the timeline of Intel's manufacturing process technology? Okay, so the UM. Intel 7. Okay, so I guess this is a whole branding thing. Okay, Intel 3. Okay, yeah. Oh, control shift. Oh, okay, so I can select a cell, or I could select an entire row. I don't know how to delete a row though. I can only increase a row. Okay. How do I delete a row using shortcuts in Excel? Let's see. Control plus minus. Control plus minus. Oh, okay. Intel 20A. Okay, Intel A. Oh, so the A is like the Armstrong. Ah, fuck. What is it? What does the A stand for? Does ChatGPT remember the context? Let's see. I don't think it does. Oh, it does. Nice. Angstrom. 0.1 nanometers. Okay. Seven. 2024, let's say forecast, 2025 forecast. 10 nm superfin. Shift FN 2. Apparently this was delayed and has problems. Okay. Cabby Lake, okay. Broadwell microarchitecture. Let's see, revenue. Then 2021 to 2023. Then also operating income. So take a look at the 10Ks in the previous years. See if we could crack this one open. So 1 billion, 0.5 billion, 0.3 billion. Operating income, negative 0.5, negative 0.3, 0.1. Okay. Let me see. Okay, nice. Okay, so this was back in 2021, right? IOTG, I guess that's their Internet of Things. Okay. CCG revenue. I'm curious on what AMD has seen. So if you look at AMD 10K, let's see what happens. Okay. So let's see what their business their segment is. Data center segment, client, notebook. Okay, hey, let's see if item 7, that can take us to the MD&A. So net revenues. Oh, come on, this is just year over year. Okay, so I guess maybe this isn't an Intel thing, but more so an industry, where you could see that the client segment itself has been declining. But then again, this gaming segment, which I think Intel combines and wraps into their client compute group, that actually has stayed relatively flat. And so yeah, that's interesting, right? Okay, I want to see like the multiples that they're trading on. Okay, let's see actually. $2024. Okay. Let's see. Operating activities, restructuring and other charges, operating expenses. No. Okay, here we go. Net revenues. Okay, I guess Intel sold their storage business in 2021. Okay, let's 2021, 2022, 2023. Okay, revenue. Let's just gross margin and percent, right? Okay, so gross margin. Oops, I don't want that. And then net income. Okay, so they have a non-GAAP. So what they're doing here, they're taking out acquisition-related adjustments and also taking out any share-based compensation expense. So I guess that gets to a 43% gross margin. In 2023, this one's a bit higher, so they had a patent settlement. I guess they're just normalizing their gross margins or their COGS here to take care of, in most cases, is acquisition-related adjustments and share-based compensation. Okay. I don't. Where is the income statement? Here we go. So let's bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so in millions, let's make sure that's true. 63054 and 79024. Okay, gross margin. $21,711, 26,866, 43 815. Okay. Yeah. This is cool. And then net income. Actually, operating income probably be good. Operating income. So let's take a look at operating income here. Okay. 93, 2, 3, 3, 4. Oh, no, I have this backwards. 24, 359. Oh man. If only this were Intel in 2021. What happened? Just 2 years. $19,868 $8017 and 1689. Okay. Yep. Guess they were able to get some interest income. That's good. 4% treasuries. Guess that's not too shabby. Okay. So now I kind of want to go to this. Right. That's not helpful. Fuck. Data center group. Yeah, I don't know. Client compute group. I wonder if the 2022. Oh wait, was I just looking at the 2022 one? Let's if you look at 2023. Okay, here we go. $41.1. So they added another billion, a cool $1 billion to 2021. Yeah, it's kind of sketch, huh? Unless, okay. I realize that this might be their NAND business, but I thought that was $4 billion, right? Okay, let's get some breakdowns in this. So 2020. Notebook was 24.9. Desktop was 11.2. And other was 4.5. So this is really just the sum of these. Okay. And when you look at operating income, it's around 15.8. Just like a 2% decline. All right, it's not terrible. Okay, so AWS, Google Cloud, they use okay, that's cool to hear. That's cool to hear. Customers, CSPs, okay. US, Google Cloud, nice. And from 2020 to 10K. US bots. Fourth gen Intel Xeon scalable processors. Okay, nice. Project Amber. So even in 2020, this was higher. Shoot. -1. Okay, yeah. Gonna end this stream here probably. I might want to look at things a bit older, maybe all the way back to the 2000s, earlier than that if I can, and see if I can get some quarter by quarter data, especially recent quarter by quarter data. That would be cool. And then if I can map out the technological history behind Intel, that would be really cool. Compare that with AMD. I think those are probably the two powerhouses. And then also, when was that? So Apple M1 release, November 2020. Okay. Surprisingly, CCG didn't fall that much. Does Apple still make laptops with Intel chips? Oh, that's crazy. Did Apple stop selling Intel Macs? Okay, so I think this is probably where until like see, Apple announces M1 chips. Okay, shifts F2 by 2022. Most Apple products on Intel chips are no longer sold. Okay, yeah. So that's actually some very, yeah, this was a good stream. I think helped dig into some of the details behind what's going on here. And I think Intel today, Intel stock. So it has a market cap of around yeah, I guess this is probably fair because it lost yeah, Intel did lose a big customer base. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. Okay, but with that being said, I think I will catch you guys in the next stream. We're gonna muse on this a little bit, think through what's going on, and see what happens. Okay, catch you guys in the next one. Peace.